Hello Virgo, thank you for tuning in again with me for your Zodiac wheel reading for May 2019. I'm Elle and my readings are for the general collective. So if you would prefer a personal reading, you can find my details in the description box below of how to contact me and book in for one. I'd love to hear from you. Now these readings are for Virgo sun sign, rising sign and moon sign. So do have a look at the other videos if you know any of your rising signs or moon signs, because then you'll get a more all-round view of the month ahead for you. And when I finish the Zodiac wheel spread, I then do a confirmation spread with the animal cards, just to confirm what we have already looked at and to clarify, really. Okay Virgo, just stay tuned for that. And you can also have a look amongst the videos there. You will find also the pick a pile spread where you can pick one pile, and I have the timeline number in the description box as well, so then you can click along to that timeline for that pile that you've chosen, and the messages for that pile will be there. So that's a nice little way to get your messages to you as well. So do enjoy that too. So now I will just ask Great Spirit and angels and my guides to join me with this reading for Virgo, and give thanks for the messages that come through in this reading for Virgo's highest good and the good of all concerned. Now here, Virgo, you have the Two of Cups. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. I don't know, the light isn't very good. I've got to get a new light. Now, the Two of Pentacles here is what is influencing the area of the wheel that pertains to your persona and how the world see you. So with the Two of Pentacles, it's showing me here that they are seeing you as being able to juggle things around at the moment, as well as finding you're in a balance too, is also the message from the Two of Pentacles, because Pentacles are representing the material plane, really, for from the tarot. So it is usually about our earthly possessions and our money, and this is showing that you may not necessarily feel that or come across as having really good cash flow, for example, but you do manage your money rather well, and you can make a little bit go a long way, really. You just got to sometimes rob Peter to pay Paul. That's the energy that's influencing this first house here. Now here in the area of your values and how you earn your money, I feel that you've felt a little bit of pain there. You may have been confronted with some things that are basically asking you to you know, delve deep, really. And the 3 represents the trinity of life, and so it is possible that there's 3 situations involved with this, 3 people maybe, or 3 different choices that you've been given. But it also does indicate a little bit of a weather report, the 3 of Swords, and being reversed, it could be that you know that you are going to be experiencing the forces of nature type of thing, or being hindered or held up because of something to do with what I call the weather. Yeah, so nature. Yeah, the being reversed is also a message here that music is very soothing for you, and there could be little incidences that you notice where the music is actually very poignant, that songs come on the radio, for example, or you turn on your stereo and a particular song is the first CD that plays, kind of thing. So yeah, little bit of messages coming through for you there with music as well, Virgo. Here in the area where you are using your communication abilities and short distance travel and neighbourhood, as well as relatives are represented in this area of the zodiac wheel, there is one of the cards that I see as being quite a soothing message, because it's saying to you that your ship is coming in, and that, you know, keep your eye on the horizon, because it's only going to take patience. You've put in the effort that you need. So if you're waiting for an answer, seeing this is the communication area, if you're waiting to hear back from somebody or waiting for an answer on something, it's coming. You know, you just need to be patient, because things are getting sorted out so that you do get your merchandise or your payment, or whatever it is that you're actually waiting for there. It could just simply be a message of getting a go-ahead in something, because the wand energy is one of growth and action and passion. So very good news is on its way for you. In your home situation and the base of our wheel, it's showing here that there's a bit of a shift and a change coming through for you, and there is a bit of swinging from feeling a bit of despair to feeling optimistic. So there's a backwards and forwards situation there going on with home or family. It could even relate to childhood reflections, as this is a time that the energies are actually having an effect on reflecting on the past, basically, because there's been a couple of big shifts happen over the last month, which have a very significant effect for us, and one of them is Saturn in Capricorn. Now that has been retrograde now since the 29th of April. So, and it doesn't go direct again since till September the 18th. So keep those dates in mind. Now, what does this mean? Okay, well, the frequency of that is coming off of the Saturn retrograde in Capricorn is one that is sorting out karma. So it is a time now where past, present and future are all intertwined into one. So it is quite a prominent time from now until September, with those energies affecting us and again teaching us something that we need to learn. So if you have come from a place of negative thinking or behaviour, then you will see an event occur in your life to teach you a lesson from that. If you're coming from a place of good deeds and pure intent in the past, then an event will occur to teach you about that, and in effect give you the reward, because the more hard work and dedication that you do, the more Saturn loves it, and the more reward you will receive in the long run. So, and this is about being reversed. It is showing that there is some lesson that you are learning, and even though it does show that to a degree you may feel like you're got to go it alone at some level, or things are always left up to you, or that kind of energy where you want the team effort, but you're not actually seeing it materialize the way that you would like. Well, then that is the lesson in that for you is, if you want something done, do it yourself. If you want it done properly, do it yourself. You may have heard that saying, but that's what I'm getting here with that. And yeah, it is to do with family, home, and what you consider to be your foundation. Now, here in the house of play and fun and matters of the heart, you have the Six of Pentacles, which is the giving energy, which really is in harmony with that area of the wheel for you, because the fifth house is about the giving of love and being able to give without basically demanding that you receive anything in return. But you always do. When you give of free will and expect nothing in return, you get the glory of the giving, basically. So, and it also is indicating there is good news around money and income as well. Even though income doesn't relate to necessarily the fifth house, there is something coming that is going to help with this balancing and juggling the money. In your area of work and health, that you have the Two of Wands. Now, this is also a very positive energy here with the Two of Wands. It's showing that you're not just limited to one way of doing things or one direction. You've got a couple of options there, and from little things big things grow, as the beautiful song says by Paul Kelly. If any of you want to listen to that song, it's very true and very much depicts what is here, and that is the song that I heard when I picked up this card. So you are slowly building and making things bigger and better, and it may have started off small, or even at the moment it may still look like a small seed that has been planted, but you will see that you will see that growing strongly, and the beginning of that comes here through May. So good things there, as well as health-wise. That is a good indication too that you're either now on the way to recovery if you have been suffering from any ailment, or the message is also one of having physically strong health. Here in the relationships area, partnerships of all kinds, business and romantic, as well as people's opponents, anything to do with dealing with other people, is the Knight of Wands, and he is charging along with a lot of passion and energy and wants to get things on the move. So there's a lot of action going on in a relationship, and it's a passionate action, and it's coming from a place of growth and improvement is what I'm hearing there for you with that. 8th house, you have success with the Chariot, victory and success, and again a choice in two different directions. So I do feel with the twos, the amount of twos that have showed up, as well as this Chariot, you are really in a position to make the most of your options and make some choices that are good for you. I hope you can see that card. It's a beautiful card. So there's victory there. So when dealing with others, to do with other people's resources, or even if it's their opinions, or you may have to approach somebody to help you out financially, it shows that there's options there for you to look at and think about. Now the energy too with the 8th house and that area of other people's money and resources, it's also birth and rebirth energy that's being influenced there. So you may feel that you are starting on a fresh new path, or you're at the very least starting to think about taking that new direction. And the Pluto energy is actually quite prominent with and connected to the 8th house, which is another planet that has gone retrograde in April, on April the 24th, in Capricorn as well, and that stays that way until October the 3rd, when it goes direct again in Capricorn. So what does this mean? Well, like the other retrogrades, because Jupiter is also in retrograde, so is Saturn, and Pluto also. My observation of the planets going retrograde is that it's the way that the universe takes us back in time. So if there was something that you can recall for this particular situation with Pluto going retrograde, the last time it was at the degree that it's going to be through this retrograde was in 2018, between April and July. So if you can reflect on that time of what was happening, what are the similarities that you feel with now and that time, and if you had a chance to handle things differently, then this retrograde now is the time to handle things differently. So you may be presented with a similar situation, could be different people involved or a different issue, but a similar thing which feels, that feeling where you feel like I've been through this before kind of feeling. If you can relate it back to then and use hindsight to see what you would have done differently had you had that opportunity over again. This is the opportunity being presented to you. So I hope you understand what I mean with that. Saturn is the same. Takes us back to a time when we may have been experiencing responsibility and taking responsibility for ourselves and being responsible, because that is the energy of Saturn, is to teach us how to be responsible for yourself as well as your family. Okay? Now with Jupiter retrograde, which is Jupiter traditionally governs the 9th house of philosophy and long distance travel, higher education, higher understanding, spiritual manifestations, that kind of thing is all the 9th house kind of energy. So Jupiter's retrograde is wanting you to reflect on November, but from November onwards of about 2007. So that's where there will be a similar dynamic going on and playing out in your life, that you may feel that you can see how in November 2007 it was a similar situation or idea. And again, it's about, if you could do it again better, what would you do? Because now is the opportunity. If you missed the opportunity back then, now is the time where you can sort it out a bit better. Okay? Because Jupiter is in retrograde, so it is testing you, but it's testing you to see if you are actually ready to receive the good fortune, or it could be a relationship, romance, or it could be just increasing your wealth and income. But it's testing you to see if you're actually ready, because if you're going to squander it, so to speak, then you probably won't receive as much, or you know, you'll feel that things are out of your control, kind of thing. So now is the opportunity to get things in order and fine-tune your frequencies to that. And it's quite relevant that you would have the Hermit in that area, because it will take you a little bit of reflection maybe, to look within, to find that answer to that within yourself, because we always have to come back to the self. Everything starts with the self. It's showing you here with the Hermit that there's some parts of your journey that you can't get the answers from outside. They're actually answers that are within you. And the Hermit is a very wise energy that is influencing that area of your wheel. So you are quite wise, Virgo, and you are one of the earth sign that come from quite a practical, sensible, common sense kind of energy. And trust that common sense is what my guides are telling me. Here in the zenith of the wheel we have the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is often about feeling that someone has taken something without your permission, or you know, it could even be an idea, because the swords are the air sign energies really, And it's here in the 10th house, so that's why I'm feeling like maybe there's some idea of yours that somebody else is running with, and whether it be a big issue or just a small thing, you're still feeling like that was my idea and I'm not even included, or something like that. So that is the energy that I'm being shown here in your 10th house. It is ruled by Capricorn, so at the moment, as I said, Saturn and Pluto are both in Capricorn. So that energy is, in a way, you can trust. You need to have trust and use your trust. They're saying to me, you need to let them run with it, and not try to take it back or get it back or fight them over it, because the Mars energy is very strong here in May as well, and you just need to sort of harness a bit of that energy. Now, up until from the 31st of March, Mars has been in Gemini. So it's been a little bit argumentative, and maybe finding yourself fighting against something that you don't even understand. So it's changing gears in May. On the 16th of May, it's moving into Cancer. So stay conscious of what you are doing. Otherwise, you may behave in petty, irritable ways, because the Seven of Swords can be over petty stuff, and or someone may be behaving that way towards you. So yeah, they're behaving in petty, irritable ways. So if that is the energy that you feel coming through in you, that you try to not fight for something that isn't really as big a thing as what you think it is. So sorry if you're feeling, any of you are feeling that, because it can be a little bit unpleasant. But it's out in the outer world, and it's with career. So it could even be that you've got to deal with government bodies, or you've got to try and deal with telecommunication issues and all that sort of stuff. And it's irritable and annoying, and it can even play out like that, because again, as I said, it's the swords that are showing up, and the air sign energy. So and that all does relate to technology, really. Yeah. So you don't want to be that irritable person that no one around you can understand, let alone deal with. Okay, and if it's not you, it's something out in the outer world, because the 10th house is how we function out in the greater world. So it's that sort of energy that you're dealing with. So it's up to you to come from a more positive place. And you will find that you can get a lot done around the home, for instance, because the 10th and the 4th are the opposites, but they both influence the parent and the home, and get that life-work balance going as well, with the 5 down here and the 7 of Swords up there. That seems to be a little bit out of whack as well. So yeah, you can get a lot done around the home, and indeed get a lot done and accomplished in general. Okay, so that would be the way to try and use that Mars energy, because Mars likes the physical energy being used, and if you don't use your physical energy to bring things about, it will come out in emotional energy. So, and I know, Virgo, how much you don't like conflict, so there you go. Now around the 12th, when the moon is in Virgo, you could be inclined to emotional repression. Okay, so you could sort of withdraw or hold things in, but then by the 21st of May, with the moon going into Capricorn, this is showing me a good time for all earth signs, including Virgo, with any public relations. So if you can hold things off and wait a little bit until the 21st of May, you will probably be more prepared and in a better position to put forward what you need to put forward. Okay? Now, again here on with the 21st of May, there is Mercury energies that are also shifting. So until the 6th of May, Mercury is in Aries, which is a very action orientated energy for Mercury to be in Aries. So you can put a lot of the thoughts into action. Now Mercury moves into Taurus on the 6th of May, so your attentions then could turn to whatever you value in your life. So you're looking at your property and your home and negotiations. Again, this career and home life balance is prominent for you, Virgo. Then once that has transited through Taurus, which is actually a very fast transit through Taurus this month with Mercury, on the 21st of May, again, it's showing that there is really strong energies because of Mercury being in its own sign in Gemini. So short distance travels, contacts with relatives, lots of things going on in the neighbourhood. Things could get a bit hectic, burning the candles at both ends. So do try to disconnect if things get a bit too much for you and you are feeling that you want to, you know, do some inner health work, inner healing, go self-seeking within yourself for your own guidance and inner light. That would be a good way to use this energy. Even connecting to the earth and doing some earthing, and that is, you know, like working in the garden, taking your shoes off and actually feel the energies of the earth coming through you, so you can disconnect a little bit to give yourself some breathing space. So the 21st of May is showing me here that the changes that have been due are on their way, and you will be able to communicate better, and you know, your patience with yourself and others will pay off. In the area where you are the strongest at manifesting, your hopes and wishes house and your group social life and friends, you've got the Tower reversed. Now this is often quite a dramatic looking card that doesn't on the surface look like it's something positive, but in actual fact the Tower is probably one of it's the most refreshing, I suppose, is the best way to say it. It does bring sudden change, and it does require you to reevaluate and rebuild, but it brings about a much more solid foundation for which you can work from, and from which you can build something more solid in the future. So really, with it reversed, its message here for you is one of, don't wait for something to happen. I mean, it's all well and good to be patient, but don't wait for something to happen. Do the best you can with your correct thoughts and feelings to manifest it. So and you co-create with it, because if you wait for something to happen, like many times, and I can hear it now, and it's the very familiar words of, I wish something would just happen. Well, with this in your hopes and wishes area, be careful what you wish for, because if you're just wishing something would happen, then something will happen, but it may not actually be how you want it to be happening, if you understand where I'm coming from with that. So yeah, co-create it. Be in a conscious living. Get out there, walk with your feet on the ground and the grass, and get your earthing energies pumping through you. Okay, or you may even want to walk along a beach or in water. It's just being in contact with nature. I do feel that that is a strong thing for you. Do your gardening, whatever it is that you like. Yeah, and then you have epiphanies being presented here with the Ace of Wands. So you will have some kind of epiphany, a new idea, new inspiration, and a new desire to move forward. Okay, now your animal medicine cards, which this here is the time where I get the confirmation card for the overall reading. So I would just like to ask and invite Spirit and my guides again, and ask the angels to stay with me for the confirmation reading for any message that they have for Virgo for May 2019. And we'll take the card that flips out, which sometimes may take a little bit longer than one would like. Thank you. Alright, so here we are, Virgo. You have jellyfish. Avoid being over impressionable. So do let me know in the comments how you feel this month is unfolding for you and what events are taking place in it, because this is letting you know that don't be swept along gullibly by a fragile little jellyfish at the mercy of the currents. If you do, you will let others' emotions and false ideas push you in unsuitable directions. Avoid conformism and stand resolute instead of drifting and spinelessly turning to jelly. Okay. So I do feel that that message is quite poignant, really, because I did feel with this Five of Pentacles being reversed here that you were feeling like you were a little bit out on the limb, or out of the inner circle, so to speak. But this message is letting you know that you're not meant to be following, you're meant to be standing on your own 2 feet at the moment, and not following along, just, you know, willy-nilly going along with everything. So that is the message here for you with your confirmation animal medicine. Okay, Virgo, well, thank you so much for tuning back in. It's just so nice to hear your comments. I read all the comments that are left for me, and I do try to answer as many of them as I can. And as I said, if you'd like to book a reading, then all the information is there in the description box. If you haven't already subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and click the bell beside it, because that'll let you know of any of the future updates that I might be able to put up. I've got one coming that I'm working on, and that is going to be every people's totem animal pick like that. So yeah, have a wonderful month ahead, Virgo. Thank you so much for being part of my channel and for liking, subscribing and sharing. Love and light and many blessings to you all. Namaste.